come on. Serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be...
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatarasuna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be...
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested...
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it.
Okay,
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Great! Let's go find out what this Tatar...
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the... if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe it?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about you... This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started...
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social... Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard...
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a...
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking...
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a Kabuki Mono.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabuki Mono lived...
So first this strange person goes missing.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think...
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm, even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in...
Wait, so there are two missing people in this...
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So, basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going...
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for...
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a...
Puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces...
No! Paimon just meant,
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected, and that's exactly what...
And please read my essay draft as well. Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essay. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guess.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever, and besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything.
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about. Okay, then even if we did know something, after all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information. If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many. Ah! Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by over there. It looked like the balladeer. No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see. Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? I know you must have a lot of questions. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in there. A deal?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was...
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't...
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you...
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal.
Well, I, for one, have no reason to doubt you.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. The balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer Plus. He's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru... Wait a second. Farmer? You mean, he's the... I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings.
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear. Don't you?
Yeah, obviously! Then let's put that discussion to the side. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how...
All right. Then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you serious? Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, yes. As I told you once before, . Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came... Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though the amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more Exactly! Or what if... I understand. But how things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense long... As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to it's my pleasure, really. Paimon's still worried I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed... In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the... Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a... Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the... Great. Then prepare yourselves. I'm going... Wow! It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now...
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it... Fine. Let's call it truce.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the...
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that.
If there are no further objections, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure. Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is the... Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information, pick your jaws up off the floor.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to...
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go...
Let's go. Stay close.
Hey, so... Say we... What are you smirking?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got... Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder you mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establish.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is... So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a...
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he... Perhaps today will be the day that he... Well done. Smart and attentive. So, you made contact with that part of his mind.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a pup.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out that...
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono...
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history.
Oh? How interesting. Those two met...
So the Gase got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So,
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me.
Wait! How did you know about that? Didn't Nahida
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. Huh? Wait.
This light, it looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement! You have to share it with us!
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace after.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to.
Is that so?
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone under your leadership. Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for the forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material, has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths, skills, blood, dreams, Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me. And now, even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key consultants, working right here alongside.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry.
So you say, Escher.
My good sir.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is hard, but that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichiyo, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly...
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone, so I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you—
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem—
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all—
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from—
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well. At least for the first few days. But it's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher— And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
If you kill me, there's no one who can—
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but...
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out.
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui harbinger. Call me the
Fatui? Who?
Just to create a minor inconvenience.
That's it. That's why you gave us your—
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with— My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only—
If you give him my heart, He has nothing to prove to anyone.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not... I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend be... Mr. Niwa? Oh. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's... I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest...
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore! Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a But why did we see things from his
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant... You know very well what that means. Even...
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it.
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps so now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then the load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This..." The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you..." The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man?
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your... It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes...
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, Since Irmинсуль was a dead end,
Huh? About what?
the reason why there are records about your sister in Irmинсуль, it might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kus?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irmинсуль, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What happened?
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at—
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily,
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta... Oh no, he's
Oh, can you hear me?
Nihida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some...
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh,
Don't be. It's not your fault. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irmin's.
We're out! And we're at...
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody... I'm sorry, but this is...
An emergency? How bad is it?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances...
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible! Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn, even if no one was there to see it. So, why does Paimon still have a bad succeed, right? Otherwise, well... There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep. So, how about, Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and Drayan chili chicken. Almond tofu. Satisfying. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and what do we... Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly... The balladeer? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name. What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something So, the balladeer. Is that someone's name? Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, the art of forging practiced by these 5 clans, was first taught to most of the great swordsmith clans of old, have since fallen into decline. And for a long... But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin... If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present.
Oh, yeah, we were! We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too.
That, my friend, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, he told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, there is no harm in telling you, but the Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day. And overseeing it was the armory officer. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa, the smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortune. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the Almighty, powerless and destitute. The only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years... Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged to. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places. On to the next stop. Lead the... We're here!
Traveler! It's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is...
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the...
We'll be heading in then.
Hello, dears. Of course, traveler. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather bit. As for the commissioner himself, well, you know.
So pretty much bit...
Very much so.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as... I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the best.
All right, goodbye for now. We're, great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see you...
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care of now.
Very well. Safe travel.
Well, here we are. But what are we...
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the travel?
Xavier? What are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this.
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the... If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna. Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around...
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about...
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a... Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? No, I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the... But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatara... Of course!
Oh, we're leaving?
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but What's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. Hey, don't mind. All right, let's head.
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love...
We have time. What do you want to talk?
The same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh, of course.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could get...
What did you find out? Some...
It's a long story. Basically, we have some...
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Armanoma clan, you say? Ugh. So there's no...
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly prestigious role in society those days, to the extent that harming them was conceived of...
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right.
And they're back at it. These guys are...
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on...
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do. Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon, have you...
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and
The balladeer? You look troubled. Is there something you need... Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the balladeer,
But how was he even able...
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully...
So, you believe this person really existed? And we just don't remember him because... well...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible the traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irmensule. And it also, if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten...
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what... Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if the story makes sense, every part of it. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irmensule.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it just feels so hopeless. He gave everything.
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming...
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory.
Hold on. So this record survived from the...
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the Kabukimono and other records will have been changing the information in Irmensule changes to that, but Irmensule can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have...
That's incredible! What a...
And sending the traveler into Irmensule with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew this story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the... But if we connect all the different pieces together, There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet, furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flame, a gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You..." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be set." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. how it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and this memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical...
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get... Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished, like a puff of smoke.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where you're... We still don't know how the change to Irmensol will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember...
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around, but...
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we come... So the answer is not everything. People yearn to... When you give someone the truth, you give them to others looking on. This may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light, and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nihita's right. Cheer up. How about we go get...
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to...
You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel... Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Time to go.
We're here! What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? All right, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or is the...
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, but I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon...
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias, and
leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just...
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around.
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those...
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let